Odysseus became the hero, but what if he was the ancient world's greatest liar? Think about the Odyssey. Every monster, every miracle, every curse. Who actually saw them? His crew. And every single one of them died. Odysseus returned alone. He told tales of Cyclops and sea monsters, of witches and gods and six-headed beasts. It was brilliant propaganda. History is usually written by the victors. But the Odyssey was written by the survivor. He led 12 ships, 600 men. He lost every single one of them. Any other captain would have faced trial for catastrophic incompetence. Odysseus didn't face a trial. He told a story. He claimed the gods were against him. He claimed monsters hunted him. He claimed fate itself conspired to destroy his fleet. Homer calls him polytropos. We translate that as a man of many ways. But it can also mean the twisted one, the cunning one, the deceiver. Today we look at the man behind the myth, the pirate, the failed captain, the unreliable narrator who turned disaster into legend. The lie began before he ever left Troy. We celebrate the Trojan horse as genius. But in the Bronze Age, war had rules. Honor mattered. Odysseus didn't win by strength. He won by deception. He hid soldiers inside a religious offering, a sacred object meant to honor the gods. Then, under cover of darkness, they slaughtered sleeping civilians. They burned temples. They destroyed a city that had already believed the war was over. This wasn't battlefield brilliance, it was calculated sacrilege. He set sail not as a noble hero, but as a man already comfortable breaking every rule of civilization. And the first thing he did after leaving Troy, he raided the city of Ismarus. The text admits this openly. They killed the men, enslaved the women, stole the wine. This establishes the pattern. Odysseus was not an explorer, he was a pirate. Then comes the most famous story of all, the Cyclops. Strip away the fantasy, look at the facts inside the story itself. Odysseus and his men land on an island. They find a cave full of livestock and food. They don't ask permission. They break in. They eat the supplies. The owner returns. In the story, he is a one-eyed giant who devours men. But what if he was simply a shepherd defending his property? Odysseus blinds him, steals his flock, escapes under deception. He gives the name nobody. We call that clever wordplay. But in tribal societies, false names are tools of criminals. They prevent retaliation. They erase accountability. Later, when Odysseus reveals his real name out of pride, he claims Poseidon cursed him. But maybe the curse was simpler. He attacked a protected settlement. Word spread, ports closed, allies turned hostile. He wasn't wandering because of divine punishment. He was wandering because he was wanted. As the journey continues, the men keep dying. And every death requires an explanation. Take the bag of winds. Odysseus says the god Aeolus gave him a sealed bag containing every storm wind. He falls asleep. His crew opens it. They are blown off course. But ask yourself this. Why did his crew believe he was hiding treasure from them? Why did they distrust their captain so deeply? Because they had been raiding for months. They were starving. This wasn't divine intervention. It was the breakdown of leadership. Then comes Scylla, the six-headed monster. Odysseus sails directly past her cliff. 6 men are taken. He admits he knew this would happen. He chose to sacrifice them. In modern terms, that is not fate. It is command responsibility. Yet in the story, the blame shifts. The monster took them. Not the captain. The monster. It's the perfect alibi. When supply lines fail and morale collapses and men disappear in the dark, blame something supernatural. Then there is Circe, the sorceress who turned men into pigs. But think carefully. They stayed on her island for a year. A full year. While his wife waited, while his kingdom decayed, why stay in a place of horror? Unless it wasn't horror. Ancient texts often use animal transformation as metaphor. Turning men into pigs may simply mean indulgence, drunkenness, excess. They found comfort, luxury, pleasure. They stayed willingly. One crew member later falls from a roof and dies. He was drunk. But Odysseus couldn't return home and say, "We abandoned duty for pleasure." So he invented enchantment. He invented magic. He reframed indulgence as captivity. Finally, he returns to Ithaca, but not as a king reclaiming his throne. He returns in disguise. He finds over 100 men in his hall. The story calls them suitors, villains seeking his wife. But consider the political reality. He had been gone 20 years. No messages, no proof of life. By every legal norm of the era, he was dead. The nobility gathered to stabilize a power vacuum. Odysseus locks the doors. He creates a kill zone. He slaughters them, unarmed. 108 men. An entire generation of political rivals eliminated in a single night. This was not romance. It was a purge. And afterward, he tells the story. They weren't stabilizers. They were immoral opportunists. It wasn't a massacre. It was justice. And because he was the only one left alive to tell it, we believed him. That is the power of narrative. 600 men left Troy. One returned. The survivor becomes the author, and the author becomes the hero. The Odyssey is not just a tale of monsters. It is a masterclass in narrative control, in reframing disaster, in transforming incompetence into destiny, in turning violence into virtue. Odysseus did not just survive, he engineered memory. And perhaps that is the greatest power of all. History remembers the legend, but maybe it forgot the liar.